Chocolate croissant, anyone?
Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show live stream and podcast. Como estás, tudo bem? How are you today? It's Feel Good Friday. Looking forward to having Frank with us in the studio. Mrs. M just getting ready. She'll be with us too. Got a lovely cup of tea with me here. How are you today? Who doesn't like a chocolate croissant first thing in the morning? I think me, actually. I don't think I do like the look of that chocolate croissant this morning. Anyone else? I think I shall pass. Looks like somebody already did, in fact. Okay, how are you doing? Who's here this morning? Let's have a look. Anna, good morning to you. And James, of course. I'm going from latest comments to most ancient in the comment stack. And that's not a personal reference to the people who made comments earlier on. Most ancient. Yes, Matty. Not to put too fine a point on it. And I think this topic that we're going to be talking to Frank about today has captured the imagination of people. It looks, I think, from what I can gather already, it does look like the golden age of flying is well and truly over, and people are down to tactics for surviving budget flying. That's part of the problem, isn't it? It got very cheap, didn't it, flying, and we like that, but we don't like what that means and the consequent cuts in quality, and how you don't have a silver service 5-course meal when you're flying over from the UK to Portugal, for example. Although you probably never did you? That was long haul back in the day, like in the days of Catch Me If You Can, when it was. Actually, personally, I still think I love it when I see a captain and crew walking through the airport. They still cut a dash. That is a lovely thing to see, isn't it? Or they are a lovely thing to see. But that's about it, really, isn't it? That's about the most glamorous thing still hanging on in there in the air industry. The checking in, the technology, the convoluted processes of booking and how they try and catch you out, the on-flight experience. Unless, of course, there will be people among us who enjoy executive and first class and club class from time to time. And good for you. Tell us, what's it like to turn left when you get to the top of the stairs there? Do let us know. So Pete's in as well. Matty's here. Alan, good morning, Alan. Oh, yes, Alan. Alan, it would appear, is a retired American Airlines captain. Buenos dias, amigos. ¿Qué tal, amigo? Fantastic to have you here with your particular insight then, Alan. Wonderful. And we've also got, as well as Anna, the Swede in Portugal. Dougie's in as well with one or two. I think Dougie's been grumpy for a fairly long time in the comments this morning. It's got him started. Airport etiquette. Don't make me laugh. It's everyone for themselves. No one gives a hoot, and most people are tired, irritable, and grumpy. And is that just the staff? T-Duck's in and concluding the wonderful collection of inventions and reflections about Jean Philippe. What a Portuguese legend. I think I need a specific category over on GMP VIP, learnaboutportugal.com, about Portuguese legends, actually, like Jean Philippe. What an incredible guy. And what an unfortunate ending to his life. That I think we'll find out about today as well. Coach Turner's in. I'm very excited, Coach Turner, about starting again, going back to the beginning and reviewing God Squad tips of the day, the program next week. And I've been busy myself, actually, in preparing a before and after. Well, like I keep saying, before and after. I can't do the after. Oh, Mrs. M, you all right? You came in and gasped. Is that just seeing me first thing in the morning that does that for you?
There is a bit of that going on, yes.
There's a bit of that going on. Okay, chocolate croissant for you?
No, thanks.
No, she's going to pass, just like I did on that.
That looks like something you've passed.
Yeah, I've already made that joke.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Mum joke.
Mum joke. Well done, mum joke. She's just shuffling in. If you give me the end of your headphones, I'll plug you in so you can actually hear yourself this time.
Ooh.
You've been upgraded.
I what?
You've been upgraded such
how
that
so?
you can hear yourself on the headphones. We're talking about airports and flying today. Turns out Alan was an American Airlines captain, and he was able to make those. That's what I would love so much, on the planes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's your captain speaking. I hope you're feeling great today, and the cabin crew will take care of you at the back, whatever that means. Yes, your thoughts, please, about flying. I'm just trying to plug Mrs. M in here. Let me see if I can do that. I'm sticking it into any hole I can find at the back there. Are you hearing yourself now, Mrs. M? Are you hearing yourself now?
No.
Okay, I'm going to have to stand up for this. Good job we've got trousers on. Okay.
Yes, I can hear myself. You've turned me on.
Top
officially.
professional. I know I'm
Yes.
all tied up with my own headphone cable on the floor. We should do this before the show,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
But anyway. Oh, okay. So we're ready to roll. Mrs. M is here. This is your captain speaking, and Mrs. M and her team
You're very
will take
good
care
at
of you.
being captain of the ship. I love it.
Thank you so much. Okay. Cabin to cross check, of course. Let's see who's here. We were just name checking everybody. T-Duck, Jean-Philippe has brought, T-Duck has brought Jean-Philippe along and C.S. Lewis with him this morning and Coach Turner. So that was what I was saying. Looking forward, Coach T, to next week reviewing the God Squad program and working in conjunction next week with Henry of Personal Best and Nina, I suspect, at times as well. You really are squeezing in there, aren't you?
I am.
You're dangerously close to my mouse fingers.
Who doesn't like a mouse finger in the morning?
Not me. Now, this is my before set. I'm going to stop. Oh, Mrs. M. She spilt my tea. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get...
Causing chaos. That's what you did when you first entered my life, and it hasn't finished, and I'm not complaining.
You are.
I'm so not complaining. Okay, so there's
you should go to the comments
you
and see what comes up.
You could complain looking at this guy here.
I'm not complaining.
Bloated up a bit over these. Is it the Portugal effect, do you think?
Yes.
Too many chocolate bagels?
No, you don't eat those. But yes, pastéis de natas.
No, every time you look at me, we stop hearing you in the microphone.
Okay.
So there you go. How's that?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. I'm not
Pastel de
disappointed.
natas, pastéis. Okay. Well, I want to, for once and for all, I want to deal with those man boobs. I'm not the first person to say that. Hands off.
I have to say, I do like to fondle them a little bit.
Oh, please.
And when I first met you, that was...
We don't have to get... No. Okay, let's just move on. And I'm going to tone up a little bit. I'm calling it the shape shift. Now, for you, Mrs. M, I think that probably means other things as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, what are you doing? You're getting into the screen now.
Yes, because I can't...
Look, put that on there.
No, because it goes in...
Oh.
It's in the way of your mouse. So
Look,
I'm holding
here we
it.
go.
There you go.
That's not going to work long term, I promise you.
It's not, I know. I
Okay,
promise you.
All right.
I need one from the ceiling.
Oh, is that my job for this weekend? All right, brilliant. Making work for myself by complaining. I see what you did there. That's excellent management.
Yeah.
Very good. Turning everything I complain about into a job for myself for the weekend.
Come on, I want to see if
what
there's
you
any
did there.
comments coming in after they've seen your bod.
Okay.
I mean, it might be like
Did
people
you
might
bring
have disappeared.
Did you bring those boxers from the UK? Comments about the boxers. Dyer's trying to decide if they are vintage or antique.
See, that's the
You
only
did
thing.
say that to me, didn't you? Those
I
pants.
said, for God's sake, put
Those
some new
pants.
ones on. I did say that. I actually said he should do it naked,
Yeah.
and then
you would
we
pixelate.
superimpose the
wouldn't
the
take long.
cock on top.
Oh, God, I wonder what you're going to say there. Okay. Yes, the lucky cockerel. You're on the
Yes.
wrong side of the screen. That has divided the ladies this week, the
What's that?
invitation to stroke the lucky cockerel.
Yeah.
It did upset the flow a little bit yesterday with Heather,
I'm
and
not
quite
surprised.
rightly so.
You're very lucky. Oh God, my hair's. Ugh. You're very lucky that you don't employ her, because there could have been an employment
stop
trouble.
it.
Seriously, that's sexual harassment. You can't do anything these days without getting
In trouble
yeah,
with someone
absolutely.
or other. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
let's see if
It
I
was
can
Astrid
then.
who started it.
I do like a good challenge.
Go on then. Stroke the lucky. No, hold on. I've got to get the. Oh, you really are causing a lot of trouble.
I hope
this
so.
morning. Right. Okay. Oh, he's nearly ready. Stroke him again.
Oh, it's impossible, isn't
That's
it?
what happens.
Oh.
It's impossible. As the actress said to the bishop. Okay, at least it looks like they're clean. At least that's the boxers.
You know, when I speak to clients,
Nom de
later and they
plume is
say,
here as well. Morning to you.
how did you start this morning? Oh, I was stroking an imaginary cock.
Well, got to do what you can, I guess. Raj is here. Nom de plume. Great to see you. It's been a while, isn't it? And Matty, what's this? Aeroflot captains are Polish. Then what is this? For some, oh my goodness, that's that. I'm not sure we can entertain comments like that generalize in such a negative way. There, Matty. Owen's here as well. Look, Dream Team Friday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk about Dream Team. The Dream Team material is shaping up over at learnaboutportugal.com. We've got the Owen Lloyd Martin collection. And we also have a Frank collection as well. Frank views on Portugal.
Frank collection. That's
The
really good.
Frank
That's
guides.
such a good.
Frank guides to Portugal. I feel
Ooh.
like I need to move
Yeah,
back
you
in a little
do.
bit now. Okay.
Come
All
back.
right, excellent. Alan maybe likes the chocolate croissant, chocolate bagel, the pain au chocolat this morning. And Matty, actually not Matty, Pete thinks airlines are infinitely better now than the romanticized past. It's often the way, isn't it? Those nostalgic memories are only that, and they didn't really reflect the reality. I remember suck sweets in place of air pressure, mosquitoes in the cabin, and very drunk Aeroflot pilots.
Yikes.
How did you know that? Is that in the days when you could just say to the cabin crew, any chance I could go up front and have a look? That's probably not the best thing to say to a member of the cabin crew, is it? There are certain gentlemen on Ryanair who I think would quite like that. If you could ask them if you could have a look up front. But I'm talking about the cockpit. And there was a time when you could go up to the cockpit, and if the captain was willing, but those days ended, didn't they, Alan? For understandable reasons, and people were not able to do that in the most recent history. Oh, Emma, love for Emma here.
Yeah.
Let me get the jingle right for you. We're gonna.
Is there a good get well soon jingle?
No, but there's gumper dust. We're gonna sprinkle on you now, Emma. But you feel better now, don't you? Good morning, Carl. I'm in bed with flu. Nice to see you, my
Who's
cheery
flu?
face.
I hope flu's good.
It's a green face, not a red one.
Okay.
So, yes, the flu. So, sorry
No,
to
but
hear
it
that,
still
Emma.
could be like I'm in bed with the flu.
Oh, as in
Check me out.
like
some hot rap artist or something.
the flu.
Yeah.
That's such a good name for an artist. Please welcome.
Because everyone would catch him.
Yes, you can. Are you catching me at the back? And welcome to the stage, everybody. Make some noise for the flu. And everyone just leaves the building at that moment. Bon dia, Mrs. M. Special greeting for you.
Ooh,
Joao
I feel very
as
special.
well.
Thank you, Joao.
Frank joining us in about 15. And I'm all over the place. All I do that. This always happens when you get here, Mrs. M.
It does.
And do you pride yourself on that?
I do.
Causing chaos. Bon dia, Gumpers, and Frank then from Coach Turner. Let's try and bring some order here. Good luck with that, Carl. A walking day today as I'm trying to increase my mileage when I'm not training. So should do an hour or so before it becomes too warm this afternoon. Before what becomes too warm this afternoon, Coach Turner? Fifth benefit of walking. This sounds like
sounds like a book.
It does sound like a book, doesn't it? Enigmatic. You're thinking, oh, it's got at least 5 benefits. That's very good. I'll buy that book. And probably any moderate aerobic activity, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, is an improvement in the immune system. Studies have shown that those who exercise regularly have less colds. I'm sure that's not true of Emma, who's.
I'm pretty sure Emma's on her feet a lot.
Emma is her musical workouts. I mean, the breathing and the dancing and just the whole effort of doing gigs must keep you fit, Emma, and we hope you get well soon. As melhoras to you, querida, and other respiratory diseases. It's not clear yet why this should be, but it is thought that the body generates more antibodies and distributes them more effectively. Now, quite frankly, Coach, I don't need a scientist to work that out for me.
Do you know what? I think there are other possible explanations as well.
I'm going to sip on my tea while you go through.
That you just one. You're outdoors, so you're in nature, and there is a soothing effect of being in nature. 2, you get the flow of endorphins because you're actually using your body. And 3, you might get a bit of sunshine. And 4, there's so many reasons. You might see somebody down the road and have a smile and a little chat. And, it's great to get out, isn't it? I think all of that improves the immune system.
I don't think we need a scientist to work this out or prove it to us, do we?
But I really appreciate the fifth benefit of walking.
I just think that is such a good little phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
The 5th benefit of walking.
It sounds like that book you were talking about,
Which
something
book?
Turning.
Oh, the 4th turning.
Yeah, the 4th turning.
Of the great turnings, of the great turner. From great turners to great turnings this morning. And do you know what, Mrs. M? I've forgotten to ask the question.
Which one?
And answer yesterday's question. We must do that right now, but not until we've finished with the God Squad emission this morning. So yet another great reason to walk regularly. I mean, yes, the proposition. Do you want to stay inside all the time, sat down inside a stuffy house, or do you want to get out and have a walk?
I love walking.
It's got to be getting out and having a walk, and obviously that's going to be better for you, right?
Yeah.
If I could do a single form of exercise, it would be walking. However, I'm lucky enough to be able to do more.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to embarking on some increased levels of fitness, as is Phil. We're going to bring you a little Phil clip as well. And he looks a bit angry in it. It looks like he just got off a plane. I love walking, says T-Duck, but I can think of one form of exercise that I enjoy even more.
What's that?
Salty. I don't think he's talking about searching the internet. So next week, I'm going to be looking at rebuilding muscle mass to regain strength, as the actress said to the bishop. I beg your pardon. That's great too. Thunderduck generally requires a partner. But we don't know, do we, necessarily?
Depends which muscle groups you're wanting to work on.
But that's the worst chat-up line ever, isn't it? I would like to work on your muscle groups. Okay.
Oh, I just love mornings on a Friday.
I'm going to leave you to be embarrassed there a little bit longer.
And amuse at myself like a mum joke.
You've defined mum jokes. Mum jokes amuse mums, don't they? That's what happens. But sometimes not anyone else in the family, I've noticed, with a mum joke. Okay. Pontina Grigampers from T-Duck at around 7:48 this morning. Happy Friday from a very warm Lisboa this morning. And we'll have a deep thought. And then we'll do the quiz of the day, and then we'll come back to Who Knew. God, just packed with information, this show.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I do feel like a little naughty girl on a Friday. And I think there's something in the dynamic of sitting next to you and trying to knock you out of your flow.
Destabilize me.
Yeah.
What, I'm so sorry. Consciously think of doing that?
No, I don't consciously think of doing it. But
That's
I think
even worse.
But I think
you're unconsciously programmed.
I think I'm unconsciously trying to, like when you're going to a job interview and someone says, right, make sure you put this word in when you answer a question. Or people used to do that to me when I was doing.
You used to do that here.
Yeah.
Tight end props and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that kind of mischievousness, and I think I quite enjoy watching you get a bit flustered.
Do you?
So I think that's why. So I need to.
I thought you were working your way towards an apology there, but it's not. That's
not
in any way.
I've only just cottoned on that there is that sort of dynamic between us. I'm so sorry.
Then Frank's on at 9. So what could possibly go wrong? Because I'm in a mischief sandwich when he joins us at 9, basically. Deep thought. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry.
I'm now worried officially. Good English is whatever educated people talk. So that what is good in one place or time would not be so in another.
That's the worst.
Do you think that's not good English?
I think that's been deliberately made a little bit. Well, I think that is a joke.
And also, I think he's making the point, isn't he, that for those people who just are real sticklers for grammar and putting people, what is it? Spell checker racist. I just thought that was one of the most sort of patronizing, condescending, and unhelpful things ever. Just catching people out. Based on, I was going to say arbitrary. They are, I mean, that's what C.S. Lewis, I think, is saying here. These things change, don't they? The rules of grammar and so on, and what's seen as good and bad changes. I mean, I would say that there is, and I'm glad Garbo's not around, I would say there are ultimate truths, but within the world of men and women and this worldly plane, there are also very subjective influences afoot, and things are changing all the time. And making people wrong as a way of making them right, if you like, is not a very good strategy.
Yeah. I mean, we're in an international community now, aren't we? Like, if you think of Facebook, Twitter, and all these different places where people from different nationalities all meet up.
Yeah.
And I think we've all got used to just seeking the meaning out of what somebody's saying rather than being pedants. I mean, there are pedants, aren't there?
Yeah. You're never far from a pedant. Six feet away, apparently.
If like I notice, a French person talking to me, and they get there with a ending in re, and like if they get things mixed up in the wrong way, who cares? Because we understand what they're talking about.
Well, and there are sort of mixed messages, aren't they? So on the one hand, people with a good grasp of English can tend to be a bit snooty about it. And then on this show we say your Portuguese may not be very good, but at least have a go, because that'll go down well. And there's slightly contradictory sort of vibrations, energy to those two sentiments there. I'm downloading a picture of the most recent picture we found of Jean-Philippe, because we're heading there soon to talk about that great man. I don't think we're finished with C.S. Lewis yet, though. Close friend of J.R.R. Tolkien. Although J.R.R. Tolkien won with the initials thing, didn't he? He saw C.S. Lewis and said, "I shall raise your C.S. with a J.R.R." Author of Lord of the Rings. Both men served on the English faculty at Oxford University. And there would have been some hardliners there, wouldn't there, with the protection of the English language, and other people around the world trying to damn well ruin it. We should not let them. We should fight them on the beaches, as it were. But I think C.S. Lewis may have had a slightly more relaxed approach to that, if I understand what he was saying there. Okay. Mrs. M, you've gone uncomfortably quiet. Are you thinking of your next mischief?
No.
I'm
wondering when we're going to start talking about Portugal. And
talking of pedants not being more than 6 feet. You always do this when you come. It says Portugal on the screen. That's enough. Okay.
And also, I was thinking about J.R.R. Tolkien and thinking about J.R. Hartley.
Fly fishing.
By
J.R. Hartley. They did it on purpose. Okay.
I think they did, yeah.
All right. The question of the day then is, because we're talking about flying, the question of the day, with Frank taking a frank look at flying on the morning show, which is the way we are now. Today's question is, how many airports are there in Portugal, including the autonomous regions? So please let us know which airport is your favorite in the comments too. So is it 3 airports? Is it 5 airports? I think a lot of people's minds would have gone straight to the 3. Is it 5? Is it 44? Or is it that classic Portuguese answer?
I think it depends.
It depends.
I think it depends.
I think the answer in Portugal is always it depends. But
I think it depends because you've also got the islands, haven't you?
The autonomous regions that I mentioned. Yeah, absolutely. So what are you going for? 3, 5, 44?
Are you talking international airports or
But let's not get too picky.
Like,
here.
are we talking like Herne Airport style?
I just said airports.
I think, okay, 44.
She's going for 44. And what else is everybody going for? Let us know in the comments. Yesterday's question revolved around our friends, the lovely Heimbachs here, Pam and John, enjoying a drink here, a novel drink to them at the time, about 1 year and 2 days ago, to be exact. Name the drink. 2 possible names, I asked. What is special about the couple? And when asked, what might the pourer of the drink be talking about? So, Mrs. M, what is that drink?
It's the lovely ginger in a cherry liqueur in a little chocolate cup.
Not ginger wine, as the name might suggest.
No, I mean, it would be flipping marvelous if it was ginger.
Flipping marvelous.
Could you imagine like ginger wine mixed with that cherry liqueur? I mean, it would be outstanding in a chocolate cup. That would be really. That's my kind of thing for
very
Christmas.
Christmassy. Yeah, very Christmassy as well.
But no, it's is it ginger or
ginger or ginger? Those are the 2 names it tends to be known by.
Good.
And if you go to learn about Portugal and search for ginger or ginginha, you will find it in our classroom. A little bit of boning up. That's not a phrase. That's not a phrase that's used very often these days, and that's why, because puerile people just laugh inappropriately at it. Genning up, boning up, 101, Bluffer's Guide. That's how we roll, helping you learn more about Portugal. And there's a little section about ginger, which features you. That video we made last Christmas called
Oh yeah,
Ginger on Ginger Action.
I was really enjoying
I'd
that.
watch that. In fact, I made it. So going back to the question
Fluffing
here,
up.
what is special about the couple, Mrs. M?
Well, I was when you said what is special about the couple, I thought you were asking what's special about John and Pam.
Well,
and
that would take
obvious.
the whole show to do
Yes,
that.
I mean
wouldn't
that's really obvious.
Yeah.
They're just the nicest people you could ever hope to meet.
Yep.
The cup, you can eat it. It's made of chocolate.
And let's be clear here: you can't eat the couple; you can eat the couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Although you'd burn a few calories if you tried. Going back to those earlier comments,
you would. Yeah, I mean, it's so nice. There's no evidence of it. That's the great thing.
It's the perfect crime.
It is the perfect crime. Like Carl went and bought me one from this lovely little place in Algarve.
Yes.
And it was only €1 ago, I think, wasn't it?
It was like a magic trick. You made it disappear.
I did.
And I got it for you so that we could film the video.
And the funny thing is, the kids were saying, Mum, can I have some chocolate? And it was
said,
already
no,
gone.
go away. And the cameras were rolling. It's like, no, go away. This is Mummy's special Christmas trick. Happy Christmas. Now run along.
Like Fagin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, actually.
Very good. So it's a chocolate cup. Now, this was the
Did you
advanced
see the
level of
22
the
people
question.
watching?
Yes. This is the advanced level of the question, Mrs. M.
Okay, go on.
Coilish or sailish?
What's that?
Well, that
I-
is the question. You're supposed to be able to
Oh,
answer that.
say it again.
Coilish or sailish?
Um,
Do you want it with them or without them? I'll help you out a little bit here. What is the pourer referring to, though, when they say
cherry?
Yes. Traditionally, you would have one of the cherries, like the tequila worm. You'd have one of those fermented cherries in the bottom of the cup to chew on. And be careful, they are not pitted. Somebody pointed out yesterday. So you could take advantage of Portugal's very good value dentistry service if you get that wrong. So I thought it was a great question. And you find questions every day of the week over at learnaboutportugal.com. Today's is, how many airports are there in Portugal? Are there 3, 5, 44, or it depends?
I think it's C and D.
You think it's C and D?
I
Okay.
do.
Well, like I said, I think most questions in Portugal can be answered with "it depends," and often do. Okay, let's before Frank joins us, and I'm worried now because I
Did you actually send the?
yeah, that's what I'm
thingy?
worried about. You know me so well. I'm sending it to him again. So there it's gone. So he should join us too, and it's getting dangerously near the time he's meant to join us, and he's not here yet.
Well, you can interview me instead.
Yeah, that would be novel, wouldn't it? We haven't done a barefoot broadcast for a long time. We must.
No, yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Quem Sabia. Who knew? Engineer Jean Philippe was also a songwriter, a composer. And there is a phrase, isn't there, when you talk about people and introduce them, is there no end to this man's talents? And here he is. And it's been extraordinary talking about him this week. He is truly legendary, incredible person, a lenda. Here in Portugal, a legend, a songwriter and composer. He authored or co-authored more than 50 songs, as well as making those inventions that he did and patenting amazing things that helped humanity, basically.
Which ones? Because I'm
The wheelchair lift,
a
way of using a camera to read words and then turn them into a system for visually impaired people.
Wow.
As well. I mean, he's an incredible guy.
That's more
and he
important than
invented
his
what you're
songs.
talking into now. He invented wind balls.
What?
I just wanted to see the look on your face when I said that. He's the inventor of wind balls, the sheath that goes over the microphone.
These things.
Yes, I was going to call it the aerobic sheath. I mean the wind sheath. Let's go with that. So some of his songs won awards, including 3 that were in the finals of the etiquette Song Festivals as well. So what a guy! And let's learn a bit more about him now. In 1986, at the age of 63. He suffered a stroke, which left him completely paralyzed and bedridden. He remained lucid in this state for 6 years and can only communicate by
Bless
blinking his.
him.
Yeah, what an incredible contribution to humanity to ultimately end up in this condition. Locked-in syndrome, and it's the butterfly and the bell jar, isn't it? Is that the name of the movie upon which, the name of the book upon which the movie was made? Locked-in syndrome, and that incredible French movie as well. Oh no, the guy didn't have locked in, did he, in that movie? But what a great movie it was. Locked in syndrome after a stroke here, it would sound. 1990, Philippe was awarded the degree of the Grand Officer of the Order of Merit, an OM here in Portugal, for his merits and service to the community. This is his highest citation, or the highest citation that can be awarded to a civilian in Portugal. So
Wow.
what a total and utter legend, an amazing person.
What a
And
stellar
thank
guy.
you, T-Duck, for bringing that to us, to our attention. And his wonderful contribution. Good stuff. Okay, and what a sorry and difficult end for that gentleman as well. Okay, let's see who else is here as we await the arrival of Sir Frank, or Lord Frank of the Algarve. I'll star up these dad jokes. Don't read them.
I've already read one.
Really?
And it was really good. One of them.
Okay, all right, you're enjoying this. Just as they were going in, those are Dougie's adding to the dad jokes as well.
good.
Very good. Okay, good stuff. So we'll do those. The amount of people.
Can you read them out with Dougie's voice though?
The amount of people that confuse 2 and 2 is amazing to me.
Very clever.
Is that Dougie?
That's very good.
All right. Airport etiquette. Don't make me laugh. 2-minute taster. Who doesn't like a 2-minute taster in the morning? Excuse me, hostess. Could I have a 2-minute taster? How very dare you? It's everyone for themselves. No one gives a hoot. And most people are tired, irritable, and grumpy. So many people are just generally at the moment, aren't they? We need to do something about that. We are doing our best here, aren't we? Hello. Good morning.
Say hello.
James, bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz sexta a todos, como va? And okay. When a plane lands, everyone crowds the narrow access and pulls luggage from overhead lockers. And they're told not to, aren't they? And everyone seems to ignore that. Seatbelts off as soon as they can, mobiles on, standing up, pulling stuff out, banging other people on the head with their luggage. It's crazy. I'm always the last person off that plane. I can't be bothered with the frenzy.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that as well.
Me too. And I think I chose to be like that in 1980.
Why is that?
And the rest of my life has gone pretty much like that. I
So
can
what
remember.
changed then?
I just thought I'm not going to play this game.
Yeah.
I'm not just on
that's
aeroplanes.
That's
just
quite an
in life
unusual
generally.
thing for
Are
a
you going, Mrs.
15-year-old.
M?
No, I'm going to get our 4-year-old dressed on my lap.
Okay, brilliant.
Wish
My
me luck.
overall, will you do that for me as well later? Bondi,
One day.
I'm with you. My overall approach to life is slow down. Budge up a little bit there, Mrs. M. So that's what you're doing. The other way I'm suggesting, without running over anyone's feet here. Bondi, I'm with you. My overall approach to life is slow down, relax, and enjoy the experience, whatever it is. So generally, I do the same, depending on who you may be waiting, depending on who may be waiting for me, of course. Yeah. Although that everyone seems to, and it's a bit like when someone drives fast past you in the countryside, they're often at the next set of traffic lights, aren't they? And you think, well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? And maybe it's the same on airplanes as well. Everyone just ends up coming out pretty much the same time anyway. And it would be weird, would it not?
Apart from my parents.
Yes. It would be weird if everyone just sat still. The cabin crew would think, what's happening? Is this a strike or a sit-in? If everyone just sat still when the plane arrived and didn't move, waiting for everyone else to get off, you'd have the opposite problem, wouldn't you? I just tuned in to see Frank in a trolley dolly outfit. I hope he's at least shaved his legs. I will check for you. Hug a slug. That's the only way. Speedy boarding passes amuse me endlessly. We all take off at the same time. So what exactly are you paying the extra for? Some people just like to be first, don't they? You're right. Good morning to you. He's here now.
Oh, it's your Uncle Frank.
It is Uncle Frank. Bon dia. And he's just pointing at his ears. Cabin to cross check, Frank. This is your captain speaking, Frank. Can you hear me? No, not yet. Bon dia. No hurry. No hurry. Calma, tranquilo, as is being prescribed here this morning. Bon dia con alegria from Anna. Today is Midsummer Eve feasts all over Sweden. We've heard about these. Celebrated with sill. What is sill? Is that a food? Schnapps and dancing. We're a small group of people meeting up in the area.
Fantastic.
Well, the Swedes, I was talking to Wiley last Friday evening, and she was talking about how difficult it is to live with so much darkness. And I think she was saying in Sweden, as soon as some sunshine appears, you have women stripping off down to their bra tops in the park just to soak themselves in vitamin D.
I don't blame them. I mean, it must be a real frenzy. I mean, do you remember when I was first pregnant with Digby and I've been a vegetarian for years?
Yes,
I didn't know I was pregnant, but I was dreaming about eating sausages.
You had a sausage
my
frenzy.
my
That was
my
that was the
body
second sausage
absolutely
frenzy of the pregnancy.
yeah,
Yeah.
but my body knew what it needed, and I'm guessing those people know what they need, and they can't
Strip
stop
off
themselves.
and leg it down to the park.
Yeah, like those sort of biological imperatives. I think that's amazing.
Who doesn't like a biological imperative first thing in the morning?
Exactly.
Gordo, James and Doug, get a room or a plane. Get a first-class cabin together. I can't understand being in a rush to board on the general seating cheap flights to avoid getting a bad seat. But generally, those are short flights, so not such a big deal. Sounds lovely, Helen. Carl, there are too many airports for your quiz question. What? Unless you meant international airports. There are about 10 to 20 in the Ria district alone, including military airports. Well, thank you for that. Pedantry.
No, that's good. You were asking the question.
Okay, all right. Well, Matty's sounding a little bit critical there, and I'm feeling a bit sensitive this morning.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. And look, you see, he is being very frank this morning, talking about my chocolate bagel in that rude manner there. I can't read that out. Sorry, Pete. Bon dia, Carl. Disgusting. Does Frank's trolley dolly outfit stick to yesterday's no panties day? Was it
seriously? You're having
international
a no panties day?
No panties. I don't know what Pete's talking about there. But there is a day and a week for everything. So maybe yesterday was Commando Day globally. I don't know what he's referring to there. I fly for free on American Airlines most of the time. Oh, wonderful. If you turn left on an EasyJet, you end up in a cockpit where you're not allowed and likely to be escorted by security from the compound. I was involved in an incident like that, not personally. I was a witness to something like that. Me too, especially down a flight of stairs. What's that? I fly for free most of the time. Ha ha! Very good, Matty. Joe Biden style, I'm guessing.
He flies upstairs.
He flies up the stairs, doesn't he? Emma, I do hope you feel better soon. Bon dia, Mrs. M from João Mendonça. And we still want to get to Madeira and try Mum's wine with you one day, João. I think airlines are infinitely better now. Okay. Yeah, are you going to tell me I've already done these?
The last 3 you've done already.
Yeah, and you're worried now, aren't I? That
I'm thinking. I think you're going to start falling over.
Like Joe Biden?
Yeah.
What? No, I know I've read these comments before. Okay. All right. I haven't read this one, have I?
No.
All right. Do you think things have improved or worse? The reason I'm reading random comments is because you're here. Normally I do it a very sequential.
Is it because you're flustered?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And then you're drawing attention to the fact that I've done something because I'm
sorry,
flustered.
because I don't know how to get your attention.
That sounds so pathetic. In the sense of pathos, not as in you're pathetic. I don't know how to get your attention. Alan, do you think things have improved or worsened as a professional in the industry there? ONT, which I read before. Thank you, Mrs. M. And looks like they're clean at least. Oh, that's the pants, not the planes this morning. Bon dia, Taurus Raji. We also read that, but I want to say hello again to Raji and Nom de Plume. And I think we have caught up with the coffee, tea, or me comment. Is that what? That's a sort of cabin crew joke, isn't it? Unintentionally weaving planes in the air there. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Hi, name's Cheryl. Come fly with me. These are we're going to get a lot of airport and flying jokes here, I think, this morning, aren't we? Some of these I'm not getting immediately. I'm national, fly me. They weren't in the last century. What's that? We're talking about air travel, aren't we? You can shuffle forward and stop grasping the mic shaft quite so firmly like that. I am getting flustered now. Pete, it was Pacific Southwest Airlines 30 plus years ago. So things, not meaning to be rude there, Anna, but things have changed a bit, haven't they, since then? Raise your hands if you remember Braniff. Do you remember?
No.
Are you raising your hands?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I was flicking hair out of my face.
Flicking hair out your face. Thank you so much. And yes, I do exercise a lot, Emma says. My bandmate had the flu, so I think he just passed it to me. And that's a super spreader moment, isn't it? When you're duetting with somebody on a dirty old Shure 57 microphone. So I can understand how that happens. Today, I do feel a bit better, but I can't do my gig today. Oh, people are going to miss you there as my voice is completely hoarse. Anyway, it's lovely to see you both. Lovely to see you too. And get well soon, Emma. Lots of love to you. Okay, talk of American airline mergers. so on. Frank is joining us again. We shall see how he's doing. Frank, can you do that on the screen? Let's look at Frank now, pointing to his ears. Hello? Hello. Now, are you pranking me? Are you pretending to be quiet, or are you actually quiet there, Frank? You might have to just get rid of the headphones there and just talk into the laptop, which would be better than nothing at all, I have to say. Now, I did mention Phil earlier on. Phil is doing 1,000,000 steps, everybody. And I do believe I have video evidence to prove it. Let me just see if I can find that. Yes, I can. Here you go. Here is Phil to go with his comment on the screen now. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. He looks a bit like some. The the introduction of his initiative to walk 1,000,000 steps for charity. That's right, isn't it, Phil? Do let us know more on the screen and how we can get involved and support you. Loving that. That's going to get me a YouTube strike, isn't it? Featuring some commercial music like that. But it's worth it for you, Phil. Bon dia to you as well, my friend. If it would be a lot easier for me if everyone spoke North American English. Lol. Never! No! I'm a pedant. Thank you very much. Enjoying the title of pedant there. And some people are. And of course, a pedant, not many pedants are embarrassed about the condition, are they? It goes with the territory, I suppose, that pedants are proudly pedantic as well. Everything all right there, Mrs. M?
Yeah.
Breathe out, take it easy. Good English is whatever educated people talk. That leaves out an awful lot of educated non-English speaking people. It was said an awfully long time ago, dear boy. Don't take it too seriously. We don't mean anything badly by it. Jess, good morning to you. Hola all. How are you, Jess? Great to see you here. Susie's in as well. Bon dia, Gumpers. A lot of people gathering around the flame of the Good Morning Portugal show on a feel-good Friday morning, Mrs. M. Lovely to be here. Oops, excuse me. And I already did this, didn't I, Mrs. M?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not sure why that's popping up. Oh, there's an airport for you.
Okay. It's a shame you can't delete them after they come up.
I would feel bad doing that. Each of these comments is precious to me.
I'm going to write to StreamYard.
It's like a Monty Python.
If once you've clicked on it,
No, every comment is sacred. I couldn't possibly delete them. Or you could put a little check mark. You could put a check mark on them. There is a starring system which I use for ones I want to come back to. But I think a star and a check would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Somebody's working on that. You can bet your life on it. Cristiano Ronaldo Airport, Funchal, with that rather interesting statue of him there. That's all I'll say about that. James, the Lord Gilchrist is here as well. Philomena's here too. It's a Philomena Friday.
Philomena Friday.
Bon dia, buenos dias, bonjour. Guten Morgen. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest suddenly here. Good morning, Philomena. How you doing? Have you recovered from your dancing and practicing and training regime? I'm sure you've had a slightly more leisurely week this week. YouTube didn't like me trying to post a link. It's nothing personal, T-Duck. And Phil Cooklin flying into Lisbon next month, but just for the day. Oh,
wow, that's a quick trip.
And tell us more, Phil, about your wonderful 1,000,000 Steps initiative for charity, mate. Only host can post links in the chat, says Matty. There, thank you. Without Googling it, and thank you for that, I would guess 7 to 10 airports. Thank you for not Googling it. I mean, that's the easy thing to do.
I haven't Googled it either. It was just a guess.
That wasn't a stab at you, Mrs. M. God, everyone... Is there something astrologically that's causing people to take things personally this morning? Or is that just a condition of humanity that we're going through at the moment?
That's just the condition of humanity right now.
Isn't it? In the US, look at this. You can get ginger brandy.
Oh, now that sounds really nice.
Sounds like another rap artist, though, doesn't it? Who might be working. This is a duet. Not that they would call it that. They would call it a rap battle between ginger brandy and the flu, which sounds like a good band.
Also sounds like a performer.
What, ginger brandy?
Yeah,
well, R&B singer probably rather than
okay.
a rap artist. Yeah. Secret to flying is.
I was thinking more of a private dancer.
Ginger brandy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a porn
Oh,
name.
yeah, it's like a name generator.
Yeah.
Ginger brandy Munson. Might use that. Secret to flying is the great Jim Rohn quote: "If you don't let it bother you, then who will it bother?" I'm Jim Rohn. Hey, yeah, Jim Rohn. And we have also, as well as Philomena, we have Antonio F. who's just popped in as well. Antonio F., thank you for your contributions at learnaboutportugal.com. I am too tired. So going to have 2 cups of coffee. Very good. That's the way to teach it to kids, isn't it? If you want them to do that right with the 2, 2, and 2. Frank is probably having difficulty getting his skirt on and jaunting his cap into the right position, which I don't think is a euphemism. Carl has sprouts coming out of his head. Thank you very much. I so do. And that's not the hair transplant. George Jensen also here. Here, this might help, Mrs. M. George Jensen also here with the Bon dia todos and Philomena. Look, in man cave style, Lord Gilchrist is barking to everybody this morning. Philomena is a message to you. Putin connotations. Not sure what that means, but that could be a name of an album as well. We'll give him a nice big round of applause and we will cross our fingers and see if Frank can join us now. Hey, how are you this morning?
How's it going?
Oh, you're there. We can hear you now. So you had a little bit of trouble with your Bluetooth.
Yes, I had a little bit of trouble with my Bluetooth, and yeah. So how's everything going?
Good, absolutely brilliant here. No problem at all. We can hear you.
I have to say, you're beaming as always.
I'm beaming.
Yes.
It's like saying your flies are undone in a good way, I hope.
In a very nice way.
In a very nice way. What do you prefer here? Would you like moonlit asteroids? Would you like bubbles dark? Or would you like a sort of Portuguese sky in the background there?
All right. I still have not had my café con cheirinho before answering this. I would need to have one of those. But I'll go with the asteroid.
You're going to go with moonlit asteroids. Who doesn't like the asteroids moonlit?
Of course.
It's a special yoga move that we talked about some months ago. But anyway, enough about that.
Yes.
How are you? You wanted to talk about air travel because you've been doing a little bit of it recently. And I've got the feeling, Frank, there's something you want to complain about in that rather than celebrate.
No. It's all about celebration. As a matter of fact, it's all about promotion of our wonderful country and all the infrastructure that we have. I've got great things to say about it.
Okay, all right. So, and would you care to answer the question, the Learn About Portugal quiz question of the day? You may know the answer to this. Portugal has how many airports? Is it 3? Is it 5? And we're including the autonomous regions, which is a bit of a clue here. Does Portugal have 3, 5, 44, or
5.
is the answer it
Sorry,
depends?
no, 5.
Okay, we shall return to that. Maybe on Monday with the correct answer, or you can go earlier to learnaboutportugal.com to make your guess or find out the correct answer. Probably tonight after I've had a glass of wine and I'm hanging out on there. So where you been, what you've been up to, and why are we talking about air travel this morning, Frank? And lovely to see you, by the way.
Very, very lovely to see you. And I see that there's a chair empty right next to you. I'm assuming Mrs. M has not left because Frank is coming on. She has a Sully to deal with.
She said, "That's it. I'm out of here. I'm not." No, she'll be back in just a moment.
All right. Well, it's about. I traveled back to Canada. I've been doing quite a bit of traveling. As a matter of fact, in the next hour and a half, I'm going to the airport, Faro Airport, to catch another flight to London, because I fly to London very often. I go and see friends over there. And this is the best time to go, especially because our airports are such amazing, especially since I wanted to talk about Faro Airport. I kind of find that a lot of folks who come to Portugal, hey, how you doing?
Let's just get our headphones on. Frank was concerned. Could you just reassure him you didn't leave because he arrived?
No, I had a rather strange request from Solomon.
Right,
very good. I knew who the suspect was.
Just like his dad. Right.
I was sorting out his rather interesting needs. So
that man is a very interesting man, and he says very interesting things.
does,
He
yeah.
does, doesn't he? Yeah, I don't know where he gets it from. All right, so you're flying again, Canada, London. Good time to go to London at the moment. So this is a good time to be on the planes, is it?
This is a very good time to be on the planes. The advice or the suggestion, a few suggestions that I would make as I've been traveling around, is when folks come to, like, let's say Americans, Canadians, Irish, anyone who comes, they usually start the scouting trip of Portugal from up top. So they usually start on the mainland, at least. They start in Porto, and then they make their way all the way down to Algarve, and then they go back. My thing is that if this was turned the other way around, it would be a much interesting and much more easier trip to handle.
Okay, so run that past us again. So how would you say it should be then?
It should start in Faro, and then it should make its way up all the way to Porto. So the thing is, if you come into Portugal, the way you could buy your ticket, and this is just a suggestion, what you what you can do is you could come into Faro and then leave from Porto. So this way you have a very the infrastructure is amazing. The airport itself is small enough for you to not get lost as soon as you come into a new country. Everything is around. There's not a lot of, like, your luggage comes out very quickly, and especially since you're going to be traveling for, let's say, a month, I think that the travel from south to north would be a much better idea. And plus, as soon as you come out, within 20 minutes or half an hour, you could be at the beach. And let's be honest, that's how you start a trip. So, it's
cocktail at the beach.
A cocktail at the beach, do it with style, arrive over here, spend the first day in Faro, walk around. It's a beautiful town. And then after that, you can make your way through the rest of Algarve. You can go to Albufeira, you could do Portimao, of course, and Lagos, and then come back. And in between all the small towns, you do your first week like this. And then from there, all of these cities have train stations, and then you can take a train up north. It's very easy commute, not just a train, buses, amazing buses from either Portimao, from Lagos. From here, you can also, if you wanted to, you could go 2-hour drive towards Sevilla and spend a day or two in Sevilla,
oh, my word.
Do all that, and then make your way up. So I'm a man of options. I just give people suggestions. I'm not here to say, hey, this is how you should be doing
financial
things.
advice.
Hey, what do I know? What do I know? I just work here.
That's the spirit. That's what's become that's what's happened to the airlines, isn't it? That sort of attitude.
Exactly.
Okay, well, it's very interesting you should say that, because this is something I think Portugal, by its own admission, and the tourism and travel industry here has this challenge that people come to Portugal for that 3-day trip. I think the most popular trip here is to arrive in either Porto or Lisboa or vice versa, and do a long weekend. Come into one, fly out of the other, and only see that part of the country. That's the problem, isn't it? And that's maybe why you're a little bit sore, Frank, is that in doing that, people are not seeing the Algarve or the Algarve beaches, or seeing much of the country, really.
Well, the dismissal of Algarve as just like a tourist town, whatever, is completely. I don't like using the word unfair, because what is fair? But it's just plain old incorrect. There are obviously tourist enclaves. There are areas where tourists are around the beach and whatever. But when you go around, you go and see, like our friend Tiago Zeferino, is a chef in a very small town called Burgao. And you go and see Burgao, you say to yourself, wow, this is absolutely amazing, and this is absolutely stunning. And once you've seen Algarve, once you've seen these beach areas, you see how the weather is, you see the vista. There's Monchique near Portimao, so we've got mountains as well. You can go over there. There's so much to do. You start that trip, and then you make your way up. There's a very good chance you'll go to Lisbon. As much as I love Lisbon, you'll go to Lisbon, you'll go to Porto, and you'll be like, yeah, this is very nice. This is very nice as well. I enjoyed this. And then you will kind of, if this is what you want to do, a lot of people don't even get to see Algarve. I think this is the way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm loving your defense of the Algarve as ever. It's very important that you come on and do that at least once a month. And you're not alone in that. A lot of people have that.
Yeah.
I was going to call it an uneasiness, but yeah, sense of unfairness. And I did like what you said there. What is fair? But we do get it. It is unfair that I think the Algarve gets treated in a certain way. And is attached to a certain style of travel with Brits that I'd like to talk about as well. Those people who, whatever time of day their flight is, the Brits tend to like to have a few pints at the airport. That might even be 4 a.m, mightn't it? Well,
we've got pubs. There's like this amazing pub right at the airport. This is what I was saying. You could be, and like you can, you know a buddy who's going to go straight to the pub, and he's come over here. And he just wants to get a pint. You know, he's wearing his socks and his flip-flops, and he's going to go straight
cargo pants, football shirt.
Precisely, that guy.
Yes. And he might be bald as well. And that head is going to be red raw with sunstroke. You know it, don't you? Within a day or two.
It is, and there isn't any kind of sun cream that will do him any favor, because Lobster Guy, by the time he leaves Algarve, is not going to be in a very good mood. If he's careful, yes. But the thing is that when you're at the beach, or when you're like near the beach, you always feel like having a beer. You always feel like having a gin and tonic. You always feel like, you know, you want something refreshing. So this is what you do. And it kind of, you know, I kind of feel the theme of your entire Portugal adventure could be about relaxed, starting with relaxed, and then you go to the big cities, you see beautiful things over there, you experience that, and then you see like I don't want to use that word, but then you see like the expanse of humanity in these cities. You say to yourself, all right, I think either I'm a small town person, or I'm a big town person, or I'm a beach town person, somewhere in the middle.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll return to this conversation. We've got lots of comments and greetings, no doubt, for you as well. The man cavers, I think, are pleased to see you, and wondered if you would be wearing an air hostess outfit and if you'd shaved your legs this morning. Should we just let's have that as a secret? I think.
Let's have a secret
between you and me. A learn about Portugal question: what is celebrated tomorrow in Portugal, and which city is having a big party tonight because of that celebration? Got it. Lausanne's Festa of the Virgins. Thanks for the publicity, Philomena. Not the correct answer, Peter, there. So no doubt that is going on, but it's perhaps not the answer Philomena was looking for. Wasn't that in Tamar? That's yet to happen, the big Tamar Festa.
And what a beautiful small town Lausanne is, right next to Coimbra. This place is just so, with all the schist houses, it's just beautiful. So and plus on top of that, to top everything off, is celebration of the Virgins is amazing. You and I should be heading that celebration.
I do not want to be associated with that.
It's so strange, because when I see the name of that town on screen, I just think someone's talking about me. It's just missing an eye.
We did take a photograph of you standing in between the O and the U and the S, didn't we, to make it look like that, which I have somewhere among my many thousands of photographs of Portugal. That's the problem. This country is so photogenic and offers so many photo opportunities. It's incredible. Sill is herring. If you'd been here, Frank, at that point, you'd have been able to tell me that, I'm sure. So the Swedes are having schnapps, sill, and dancing in the sunlight for their midsummer celebrations. There we go. It's a kind of marinated cold herring. It comes in a lot of varieties. Who doesn't like to come in a lot of varieties first thing in the morning? Smash that like button. Cheers, T-Duck. And so we have got questions and comments and observations about air travel, as you might expect. Those are not airports, just air bases and aerodromes. Airports, airstrips, military, civilian, jets, light aircraft. The pedantry this morning is off the scale. It's only a quiz, everybody. Yeah.
He's a rock star, this one, too. All right, so if a plane can take off and land, it's an airport. Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
There are 3 airports I would want to use in Portugal. Okay, that's a good distinction. Presumably Faro, Porto and Lisboa. I'm
Precisely.
guessing there. And that you could be forgiven for thinking that's the right answer, but it's not if you include the autonomous regions and every kind of airport. Carl, now estás a perder a cabeça. What is that? Don't lose your head. What's that about?
Yeah, I think he's giving some kind of reference to heads, because we were talking about shiny heads.
Okay, and we're also talking about going to Madeira, and you're invited on this trip, Frank. We'd have such fun with
Can I come
Joao,
too?
and you can come too.
Thanks.
We're going to the, and we were going to try Joao's mum's wine. Do you remember talking about that before, Frank?
Oh yes, sure. Yeah, it's the kind of wine that after like a bottle or two, you don't like. You're
You
pretty
don't
much
care
done.
about anything. Maybe you lose your head, metaphorically.
Yes, yeah.
Hola, bon dia, kids. Going to be a hot one here in Portimao. Now, you can attest to that, Frank. That's where you are in Portimao. How's the weather looking today?
Well, it's predictable, sunny. It's 28, 30. That's what we're dealing with. So it's and this is another unfair, by the way, completely incorrect comment, TAP, because I always fly TAP. It's a wonderful airline. Let's not say that. I have flown this airline to Canada back and forth. I religiously take this airline because I believe in its quality, in its aircrafts, all brand new aircrafts. When I even flew to England last time, I took this one.
And very generous staff benefits as well. I think some of the old
Very
executives
generous.
have millions, haven't they?
Also, not only that, not only are the executives doing well, these executives, the way they set everything up, is at Lisbon Airport, the executive lounge, or like let's say the lounge for people who are kind of doing all right in life. You think that these lounges will be very expensive. And they are not. If you have like an 8 to 10 hour stopover, and here's me bigging up Lisbon Airport, even though I'm not a big fan of the airport, that lounge is amazing. And for $40, if you've got an 8 to 10 hour thing, you can actually go lounge, sleep in there, eat, drink top shelf alcohol, and come out drunk, get into your flight or miss your flight.
€40 well spent, Frank.
€40 for 8 to 10 hours. I've actually done it, and I was just like, all right, this is kind of looking entitled, but let's have some fun. We went in.
The man who hates to look entitled. We get it. But my question is, can you not fly and still go and use that? Because that sounds like a good day out. You and me could just go there for an evening, couldn't we?
It is. This is what I was thinking. For $40, top shelf alcohol, the port that they had in there. The guy told me this is 15. I go, what is going on? Is this like some kind of tasting? And the gin was the Sharish gin, which is the top class Portuguese gin. I love that lounge, as you can hear.
Let's have a meet up, Frank. I've got an idea. Okay, we'll have a Saturday night there. Why don't we book the cheapest EasyJet or Ryanair flights we can find?
Yeah,
of, like $2.99. And then not use them, but use the executive lounge for €40. Total cost of the weekend about €50.
It is the kind of luxury sometimes where a man needs to go to one of these places and get lost, have a snooze, have something to eat, and then come out looking very refreshed and not knowing which flight he's about to take.
And does Ginger Brandy dance for you as well?
Oh, all kinds of dances.
Okay, we'll dance for each other if there aren't any available. Okay,
but this is a very good idea.
It is. It's not a bad idea, is it?
That's really naughty.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
We're even more interested now. You said that.
When I used to work for Air Tours years and years ago, I used to do fly drive camping holidays. Fly
dry is something different, isn't it?
Or ferry drive holidays. And so people would book the holiday, and they would actually just book it to use the ferry because it was so cheap. And then we would have empty tents, so it messes up the whole system for the tour agents. It's very naughty
to do that sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, is this kind of like similar? Like, is the Mile High Club another package?
I don't think that's
that never came
connected.
into. That didn't come into camping at all.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
I was thinking about
the
campsites.
Mile High Club and camping.
Planes,
I'm sure there's an equivalent in the camping industry.
But don't
though,
they?
Isn't
Probably.
The Canvas Club.
This-
Is it the Canvas Club?
No, but Canvas was actually one of the tour operators that we used
Right.
to
Okay.
hang out with. But when they're booking planes, don't they try and
sorry, Mrs. M.
No, it's okay.
She's trying to be professional
I
here.
am trying to. I'm trying to be
She is.
respectful.
Highly unusual. Go on.
I know it is. It is.
I
very
love
unusual.
you.
It's very, very unusual. But
Yes.
no, having worked for a tour operator and have people buying cheap things to take one component and then mess everything else up, like all
You've
of
not put us off.
no, of course
quite
I haven't.
frankly.
I've just made you more up for it.
Yeah.
I wonder what people think. Let us know in the comments.
If that's unethical.
Is that unethical or is it doable?
I think there are
or
people.
both?
I think there are people booking cheap flights already, and the tap lounge. Is,
Yeah,
is that what
there's
it's
gonna
called?
be-
The tap lounge.
There's going to be a load.
It is a tap lounge. There are two lounges, but the tap lounge is the better one. Not that I tried the other one, but since I had a flight, I had an 8-hour. I could have gone inside Lisbon for those 8 to 10 hours. But I said, you know what the heck? You got to go through all the checks and all that kind of stuff again. Might as well just get plastered over here. And that's precisely what I did.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a man cave it's going to be like a man cave in the tap lounge.
Yes, exactly. Might even be renamed that in years to come. The Tap Man Cave. Just hold down the key. This is to Victoria. If you're using an Apple device, that's how to get all your accent options and a demonstration on the screen.
Wonderful.
There. We should make that effort, quite frankly. I wonder how Portuguese people feel when we send an hola without the accent on the A. I imagine they think it's lazy, basically.
It's like speaking a different language, isn't it?
Yes,
it's like what we were talking about earlier, where
It's like when people say Portimao, and you're just like, you know what? I think you need to get back on that plane again.
What's wrong with saying Portimao?
Well, it's Portimao.
That's what I said. Bon dia todos from Ubi Omnium. And two, look, she's complaining. You know you're a seasoned expat foreigner immigrant when you are complaining about the weather, don't you? You know you've been here a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm like this as well, Victoria. It's too hot already. Thunderduck doing too many things at once at the moment. Owen, weather warning up in the north as well. So we're busting another myth there, aren't we? That it doesn't get warm in the north. Clearly it does. Weather warning here for extreme heat. So don't forget your
This is the best time to be in Portugal, north or south.
And Owen hasn't forgotten his sunscreen. Lol. No mention of football yet until I just mentioned it then. You can look forward to seeing both the Owen Lloyd Martin and Frank Guide collections. Learn about Portugal.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We'll be delayed today because the machine that rips off your luggage handles is broken and the crew is having to do it by hand. Thank you,
clever.
Alan. I bet you've heard all of these, Alan. Superb. Excellent stuff. Please, more, Alan. Kudos to Dr. Mike. What's this in Serenity? And thanks to GMP Nation for hosting. Yeah, you can find Serenity over on the Expats Portugal Business Directory. And a happy customer of Dr. Mike and Serenity there. Good. Nice one. Nice to hear that. Get that feedback. Ubi. Fantastic dream team last night, I got to say. Especially good. That'll be on the YouTube channel Expats Portugal. Wish I could join the contingent in Lisboa. Still locked into PLA A1, A2 classes and can't travel. Okay. It won't last forever, will it, to Victoria? And you'll be having that A2 certificate in no time. Yeah, and have a great get together. Lots of love to Nubianet. In country 2 days. And you're in the country for 2 days and have a dentist and GP appointment already scheduled for next week. Well done, Ubi and Philomena. We are still.
When are you traveling around the country, Ubi?
Are you going to go to Portimão?
I thought this person is in the country only 2 days, and one day they're going to do a dentist, and one day they're going to do a GP appointment, and after that they fly out. I'm like, we must be.
Yes, medical tourism. We want you to stay longer. Don't just come and exploit the services. That is not Ubi. Ubi's only been here 2 days and has already booked.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Good job.
The whole season of Marchas Populares is not over for Philomena. Still performing next week because of St. Peter's celebrations, o Dia de San Pedro e no Dia 29. What's happening festa-wise in Portimão? Have you had your big do yet? Which saint do you celebrate, Frank?
Well, it's every week there's some kind of celebration. There's some kind of events, and most of the events are at the beach. We've got like I think there's the jazz thing coming up. There is the hip hop festival. There is there is a Motown thing. There's quite a few different things coming.
Amazing. We'll have some events to share with you before the show's out, including this, the 13th Beach Rugby event with 100 teams. Beach Rugby, I didn't even know this happened. That could work very well at Portimao, could it not? Men and women's teams there, and all sorts of age groups as well. Thank you, Rugby Colin, for sharing
Rugby
that
at the beach. That's quite interesting.
Is it true that there's quite a big St. Patrick's celebration and a lot of Guinness drunk in Portimao as well?
Yes, and then there is pub hopping. Hopping from not only from within the same town, it's from town to town. You should definitely join, and especially the Guinness that you have in Albufeira. I find that'll be very, very good for yourself and your friend Bob O'Reilly.
Mr. O'Reilly, the search continues for the best pint of Guinness in Portugal. Let's each try and do a bit to heal the world. Oh. While we're here and make it a better place. There's always a way to peace if we care enough about the living. That sounds like the Michael Jackson song, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Heal the world.
I thought
make it a better place. Thank you for that sentiment.
Exactly. Very nice.
That. Yeah, we like to have a laugh and we like to have fun, and we are about leaving the world in better shape than when we got here, hopefully. Secret to flying for Lord Gilchrist: drink heavily. I thought Lord Gilchrist would say, let someone else do it for you. Wow. The secret to flying: drink heavily and sleep during the flight. Do you like to do that, Frank?
No.
Sounds like, no?
No, it's if you drink heavily, then the person right next to you is going to suffer. Because either you'll be completely irrational, which is not bad at least, or you'll be snoring, and that's not nice.
It's not, is it? Don't be that guy. That reminds me of my stepdad, God rest his soul, on long haul flights to Singapore, where Singapore Airlines were very generous with their in-flight hospitality. He would fall asleep,
just like Tab.
Yeah, and people move about on those old jumbo jet flights. So the lady in front of him that he thought was my mum, because there are a lot of Asian women on the Chinese women on the plane with black hair, and people had moved around since he fell asleep after 7 gin and tonics. And he reached over to the seat in front of him to reassuringly stroke the hair of the woman in front who he thought was my mother when he came around after his gin and tonics, and gently whispered in her ear, Susie, and it turned out to be an entirely different Chinese woman. So that was a little bit awkward for the remaining 12 hours of the flight there. You should have seen.
Oh, he just did that with one Chinese lady.
Just the one on that occasion. Yes, you know him so well. You didn't even meet. Your earlier Bluetooth problem. There is a special toothpaste for Bluetooth. Very popular in England, actually. That's if they got any Bluetooth.
I hear a punchline coming.
Well, Matty's saying you're definitely in trouble if your teeth are blue. But that can happen with a certain kind of alcohol available at the tap lounge, no doubt. Bon dia, Frank. Bebe aguardente antes do café. So he's encouraging you to have your cheirinho. How many aerodromes? Enough. That might be a pilot joke. I'm not getting that. 3 proper airports on the mainland, Funchal and the ones in the Azores, continuing with the guesses. And air travel continues to be horrible, in my humble opinion. At least anything in the US touches with its creepy fashion. Oh, steady on, easy, UB.
You should fly with us. You'll have a much better time. It sounds like you've been flying with the wrong people.
Take it easy, UB.
Yeah, take it easy, UB.
He's at the airport talking
dental
about
appointment is coming tomorrow. Sorry, go ahead. Relax. Your dental appointment is tomorrow. Talking about the beach. I was on the beach yesterday. 6, 9. And the first time since I lived in Portugal, that's how important it is to me. So Matty's been here for ages, and he went to the beach for the first time yesterday. What's wrong with the guy? Well, this is another thing. It's because you did not travel through Algarve. You never went to the beach. You went straight to the hills. So some people are hilly and some people are beachy.
Yep. Are you hilly or beachy? Think of your carbon footprint. Says the man with 12 cars.
Oh, yes, River Beachy. River
Beachy is good as well.
That person I can get along with, because that person that they can find fish.
Yes, Algarve rocks, and this is the new tourism slogan for the Algarve. Don't be stupid about Algarve. Victoria, a little bit touchy about that as well. So much charm and variety of landscape and adventures. You Algarve folks do get sick of having to explain it to people, don't you? Algarve, my favorite too, says Doug. And you can go non-stop to North America from FAL.
Yes. Direct flight to Toronto, direct flights to Chicago, direct flights to
it's
New York.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
to
Oh,
you.
from
That's
Faro
that's
International. Okay, that's the call sign for Faro, then, is it?
Yeah,
FAO?
yeah, that is.
Okay, very good. I think the first time for me getting to the Algarve will be the International Motorcycle Meetup, the Concentration in Faro. So don't forget to look Frank up when you get there. Came late to the party. Not all Brits are like that. I protest. But you got to be fair. A lot of them are, aren't they, Frank?
Which one? The one with the socks
Cargo pant guy,
and the...
cargo pant guy, socks and sandals, football shirt,
Lobster guy.
red bald head.
Oh, lobster guy. Not all, but we're talking 85%.
Yeah. Okay, so much from your scientific study. So much more to see, experience, and discover in all of Portugal. Naive to just do the Algarve Porto vacay. I tend to avoid tourist hubs. We all have our own preferences, and that's fine. But
Absolutely.
Frank's doing his bit to just extend people from the 3-day event of Porto Lisboa. There's so much more to see, and we need to help with that.
And in between, because from here you could make your way up, pass through Alentejo, go to Évora, see a bit of Évora, and then make your way up the country. There's so many different routes to take from here. We're just suggesting a different route. It's a very nice option. It's a very cost-efficient option as well.
Bairandi loves the Algarve too. Look at this, Frank. Used to go with my parents when we were kids, with the lads as teenagers, and honeymoon there with Mrs. Bairandi. Oh, nearly
Isn't that
30 years ago.
lovely?
That is lovely. Maybe time to visit again. It is.
Sounds like
Maybe
it.
renew
Of course
your
it is.
vows on the beach there. How wonderful would that be? Who doesn't like a shameless plug first thing in the morning? Thank you, Lord Gilchrist. People tend to forget that people actually live in the Algarve. Touristy at the beaches in summer, but adds to the experience here. So much variety of folks in winter and summer. Excellent stuff. I'm
Good
still
job, Victoria. You tell them.
undecided as where to live, where I will settle. Living in rural central Portugal is lovely and lonely. But with many towns so close, it's a good pivot point, and grateful to Baddy for this opportunity. Cheers, Suze. Hello, Baddy. Not forgetting Porto Santo Airport. Thank you very much, Joao.
Precisely.
And what is this? As long as a one-way ticket is more expensive than a round trip, people will. Okay, round trip and not use the way back. Okay, these are hacks, aren't they?
Yeah.
But also, airlines overbook each and every flight by 10%. So they started it in a way,
because of people like you doing those little
she
scams.
says in a very accusatory tone. With Amex Platinum card, is that still a thing? With Amex Platinum
So what happens
card, you get free access.
what happens if the 10% all turn up?
They just have to bribe people, don't they, with overnight stays and stuff, and the highest bidder wins or loses, whichever
I
you
would
look at
be
it.
absolutely livid if that happened.
Okay.
It does happen.
If you have a
Gosh.
baggage problem and miss your flight like Frank, you just call me for a room for the night. Is that a true story?
Absolutely. This is the man to call. I will publish his number openly, so folks can. If you are near, if you have a problem at the airport, he is the official ambassador for all foreigners. This man will house you. He will bring you nice natas in the morning, and he will take good care of you. And if you are very nice, he'll give you a massage as well. A Thai massage.
Another guy
Wow.
who shares his natas with you, haven't you? So thank you.
And who gives you these kinds of massages? Like, the massages could be a little bit too friendly. I got to say that, Lord Gilchrist, but you got to take it easy.
Over hospitable.
Yeah.
So we'll be publishing Lord Gilchrist's number for that service, the patron saint of lost passengers when you're in the Lisboa area. If you get offended by how folk pronounce Portuguese place names, think of us in Wales. And here we go. Here's some. I think that's pronounced. Bless you. Get well soon. 2 huge music festivals on the beach here as
But
well.
aren't the Welsh usually there? Because I always kind of feel that there is some kind of a throat issue in Wales. Is that people are kind of like it's gargling. I think it's a good exercise. During the day, as you're like talking, you gargle, and I think it's a very good practice. What do you think about that, Doug?
Doug will let us know, I'm sure. 2-minute taster. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. As you know, PSA is renowned for having some of the finest flight attendants in the industry.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, they are off today.
Mistake.
Cheers, Alan. Will be a first for us. Never flown before on a big plane. Only in
Tap
the
has the best flight
little
attendants.
Tap. Are you on first name terms with some of them now?
Are you
I
on?
am pretty
Are
much.
you on?
Brilliant.
Do you get kickbacks for every recommendation you put through?
Absolutely, especially since the last flight I was on, after I asked for the second red wine, the lady just brought me a whole bottle, and she goes,
Did
"You know what?
she? You know what? Take it. Wow.
I thought you weren't the sort of boozy, snoring man.
No, I wasn't." And this was right in the beginning of the flight. So I was like, for the rest of the flight, I was on mineral water. But that was a very good call.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, one bottle. Frank's only snory after the third bottle, I think. Will be a first for us.
Exactly. You should know.
They've never flown before, so they've only been on the little planes, hoping and expecting it to be more comfortable and not as bumpy. We'll have a great flight. When is this, George? Alex is also here this morning. Bon dia, Tour. I agree with Frank. The Algarve gets unfair criticism. As Frank says, Monchique is beautiful. Faro is lovely. There is more to the Algarve than beaches, although they are beautiful. And the drive to Sevilla is very easy. So cheers, Alex, for being here. That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, after takeoff, you may hear a loud noise. That's the sound of your luggage falling into the plane. Have you done all these, Alan? Only kidding. Carl and Frank, look up Porto Santo if you don't know. It is a Portuguese island. That sounds good. The request for the pleasure of your company. When are you in London? This afternoon, by the sound of it.
This afternoon.
I met some Canadian guys. They were round tablers having fun. How do round tablers have fun?
What are round tablers?
They are like the Masons, or they're a group of men, aren't they? Doing
what
are
they called? Who are those?
Rotary round table. Yeah, they did not knock on your door. They used a chainsaw. However, they did pay. What? Canadians with chainsaws? Is that how they travel?
I don't know. He said Canadians in there, round tablers. And then immediately I was thinking, like, are they playing footsies underneath? Is that the kind of fun we're on about? But they're not. They did not knock on your door. They used the chainsaw. However, they did pay for all damage done later. Wow. Okay. No, Canadians don't do that. You must have mistaken us for Texans.
Well, yeah, as in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, exactly.
You see, very good. Good reference there. Now, with that is so Canadian and polite, isn't it? We're so sorry about the damage we caused. Can we pay for it? In a nice hushed and quiet tone.
We'll actually figure out a way to not pay for it by extreme politeness.
Oh, I see. Yeah, don't mention it. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're beginning our descent, and in a few moments, you'll see the familiar skyline of either Chicago or Detroit. Very good. Apparently, you got quite friendly with the dog as well, staying with Lord Gilchrist. And
it's not. I'm sorry. You should stop calling it a dog. That's a horse you've got in your house. Stop misleading people. That is a horse. If this thing is right in the middle of your doorway and there's nowhere else to go, it is a horse.
Okay. Welsh sounds like we have the flu. However, Portuguese, that's what you could do tonight, Emma. Just turn up and say you're doing a Welsh set. However, Portuguese sound like a record in reverse. We all have our little traits. Sticks to English, boy. And Algarve is stunning, although Olhão stinks like sewers. They will not be pleased to hear that, the Olhão tourist board.
They will not be. However, I think he does have a point. It does not stink. It's just not a town you would frequent. Let's just say.
Is it eggy? Is it like a natural odor, or is there a factory there? What's going on at Olhão?
There is something going on, and I guess that's why the property values are so low in that area. It's a good area to buy and bring the perfume of the area up to the standards. You know what I mean?
For people with no sense of smell, it's a bargain. Okay, exactly. Very good. We've only got a few minutes with you. I know you need to finish promptly at before 10 probably this morning. We've got the menu from Solely Finesse, some amazing New Orleans food, and so we've got a few minutes left. Frank, what have we not talked about when it comes to using the airlines most appropriately and to best advantage?
In Portugal, primarily, I find that TAP is a very, very good option for us to travel, for us immigrants to travel back to our countries. It's the airline is one of the most competitive airlines in Portugal, and I hate that just because of the reputation on all these greedy executives, which, as we all know, corporate executives are never. It's got a bad reputation. I want us to be able to promote our local country products here, and it is our product, and I think that we should be using it more often. I don't know how the situation is at Porto Airport, since I've just been there once or twice, but I hear great things about that airport, and I think they have a lounge. They have a tap lounge over there as well.
Yeah, I've used all the airport, or the three main airports on the mainland, and they're all. I think they're all great. Lisbon does get a lot of criticism, doesn't it, about how awful? Well, I mean, I think the problem is it's a victim of its own popularity. It's just too busy, isn't it? It's trying to manage too much air traffic.
Extremely busy. There is a tube station coming into the Lisbon airport. It has everything. The only thing you never do at Lisbon airport is lose your luggage, unless you know Lord Gilchrist and you do it intentionally, and every time you come by you just get a room for the night.
Yes, very good. Make use of that service here in the.
And let's please make sure his number is published not only amongst our group but amongst any immigrants who come, because he welcomes everyone. He did mention that to me. He said, "I welcome everyone, Frank. You are not an exception. Anyone who comes over here gets stuck, they give me a call, and I come and pick them up."
I really did think you were going to complain about air travel, but you've sung the praises of TAP, and I agree with you. I've had great experiences using TAP. Give them another chance. There are different levels, aren't there, in all corporations? And I think at the business end, as it were, using the aircraft. Going on using them, the flights on TAP are pretty good. I think we can agree,
because you can't say that the executives at Lufthansa, KLM, Air Canada, American Airlines, United Airlines, they are not corrupt. It's a corporation, and C is for corporation, and you know what else C stands for. So
yeah. Okay. Don't get me wrong, says although Joel did say take another plane, which is the classic gag around the initials of TAP. Don't get me wrong, TAP is good. The last accident in Funchal was 1977, and that is a notoriously difficult airport to fly into, isn't it, Madonna?
To land, especially, it's a very difficult airport to land. The pilot needs to be extremely skilled. And he cannot be on gin and tonic. He needs to be on some kind of Madeira wine.
Those days are over, I think, aren't they? Portuguese, Algarve Sun is on another level. Nubianet, great to see you here. Very interesting to hear about your travels around Europe, and hoping that you have formed some very fond and positive memories of Portugal as well, and you'll be returning soon. That last comment about Jean-Philippe, that incredible Portuguese legend, in August 1992, he passed away, but his legacy and accomplishments live on. You can read more about the extraordinary life of Jean-Philippe at jeanphilippe.pt. And also you can find out more about Frank and his Frank guides at learnaboutportugal.com. If you just put Frank in the search bar, it'll bring that up, as well as many other things, food, wine, fun times in Portugal, all sorts of things you can learn about Portugal. You've got to go, haven't you? Last word from you then, Frank, and I'll stick around to do a few events for the weekend.
Very nice seeing you guys today. It's a sunny day. Enjoy the day and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Make sure to start your trip in the Algarve. Remember what Frank says. I'm not misleading you. This is a good call.
It's an international airport. Fly in there and make your way up the country, and maybe call on Frank and have a drink as your official welcome. The unofficial ambassador here, the naughty ambassador, we could call you. Frank, have a great trip later on today. Lovely to see you. Take care, my friend. Bon fin de semana. Ciao, ciao.
Bon fin de semana.
There he goes. Always great to see him. And all his appearances going way, way back for the last 2 or 3 years are going to be immortalized in his very own Frank Guide collection at learnaboutportugal.com. .com is something different, isn't it? Just heard from Dan and Bev at Soli Finesse. If you come to San Martino de Porto this weekend, not today, tomorrow and the day after, that'll be Sábado y Domingo. Pit stop, San Martino de Porto. Their wonderful street food type concession, their restaurant, basically, as far as I see it, where you can eat the most wonderful New Orleans food. This weekend, barbecue baby back rib plates with potato salad and corn. The potato salad was great. Had that last weekend along with my strawberry cheesecake celebrating Father's Day. There is the vegan special, southern fried catfish and seasoned steak fries. Southern fried chicken wings and seasoned steak fries. New Orleans Grand Chili and cheesy hot dog, and their signature mac and cheese. And Bev will have cooked some wonderful cakes and puds as well. So if you're in the Silver Coast area, you might want to pop along to see Soli Finesse. Dan and Bev, say hi from the Good Morning Portugal crew. Bear with me a minute. Sorry, just needed a little cough there. Mrs. M's been busy in and out of the studio. See, women multitask brilliantly, do they not? I'm not sure I could do what she's done this morning. And there is a wonderful picture of the church at Ponte Lima. You can see on the River Lima, reflecting in the Lima there, the church, and a beautiful image captured, sort of ghostly image of the church. Thank you very much, Viv, for that. And a chopper. Who doesn't like to see a chopper first thing in the morning? Not Frank, but down in the Algarve, where Frank is also the HQ of the Portugal News. Portugal News is featuring an article by Dougie Hughes. Dougie Hughes of the Portugal News. He's writing about the classic chopper. Did you have one of these? Did you brake suddenly, come flying off that strange seat and cause yourself, I was going to say the male equivalent of a gynecological injury on that badly placed gear stick, as far as I'm concerned? And was your mate on the back, on the parcel shelf there, on the back of that chopper? Yes, we had those. And that's a friend of mine who I think was well into his 40s, possibly, who I knew when I was living in Anadia. He just bought that, and I needed to take a photograph of that here in Portugal in 2019. Not the 1970s, that's 2019. That photograph was taken there. Stick around for a few more events. Thank you to Bairandi for those. Brilliant work by Randy at the Gumper map. He does a brilliant job there, furnishing, populating the Gumper map. And here are a selection of events that are coming up, thanks to Andy, who I think has already been at the Feira da Vinha e do Vinho in Anadia. That's from the 21st to the 25th of June. So climaxing this weekend. Also, let me tell you a bit more about that, because there's a massive gig that goes on there. They've got an amazing stage in a great big amphitheatre they've got there in Anadia. It's like the town lives for it for the whole year, I think. It's amazing what goes on there, the scale of it. And Anadia Vineyard and Wine Fair from the 21st to the 25th. Free entry on the 25th. Otherwise, you can buy a ticket, I think, for about €10 or something, which gives you free entry in and out for those few days that it's on. In the centre of the town, once again, the scene of the main event, which combines local economy, culture, gastronomy, wines, and traditions. It's Luís Pato country, of course. Included is the Festival Anadia de Paixões, which is made up of 4 initiatives. Dinners at wineries, vineyard visits, entry to the wine fair, and a night with the Baga Bairrada. That's amazing, isn't it? I believe the whole experience is €50 for that per person. Check it out on the Gumper map for more details. We've also got, it's the same thing. Shall I read it again? It's such a good event. No, I won't. I'm going to move on and go to the next one that Andy has selected for us. It's the Festa in Villaverde. Villaverde, not Vinho Verde, of Oliveira de Beiro, Pact Festival in Villaverde. Pimba, ballads, rock, pop, philharmonic band, something for everyone, basically, as well as food for everyone. Donuts, popcorn, bouncy castles for the kids. I can smell that heady mix of beer, fags, popcorn, and perfume already. That's a classic British night out. I'm trying to slap a fly on my forehead. Here we go with the Carreto Air Show of 23 at the Aerodromo de Bragança. Coming back to air travel and airplanes and how many airports there are in Portugal. Are there 3, 5, 44? Or it depends. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Festivities will start at 7:30 on June the 23rd. That's tonight with a comedy show by the duo Kim Roscas e Zeca Estacionancio. With a very popular after party as well. That sounds like fun at the Aerodromo de Bragança, and that is a free event up there. We've also got the São João Festival. We're all getting ready across the country for São João festivals. Big one, of course, in Porto, where people will be bonking each other on the head with plastic hammers. Yes, you heard right. It's fine to do that on this particular weekend in Porto. Is it this weekend or that particular weekend? I'm not sure when they're actually having the festivity in Porto. At the old train station, this one at Cantanhede is this super traditional evening dinner, followed by 4 Marchas Populares performances, plus a traditional folk music and dance troupe. Well done, Portugal. This is amazing. This sort of thing is going on all over the country. The Oia Flower Festival and Parade also happening on the 25th 5th, is that? I think. Find out more at the Gumper map if you go to goodmorningportugal.com. Festa in Samel, Bairrada, another Bairrada event, Sardinhadas. The grilling of the sardines will be happening there. Have you had any sardines yet this year? Marcha Populares, Gaiteiros. I don't know what they are. What are Gaiteiros? Antonio, Andy, bands, bar food and bands, and more bands in this super friendly village who pride themselves on always putting on a great event. Cheers, Mrs. M, joining us for the end of the climax of the show here. Let's climax together, shall we? Festa and activities in Pampalhoja, Bairrada. Free, keep fit and Pilates. So that's getting us in the mood for getting into shape next week. That's going to start with Personal Best and the God Squad program. Dusted down for another review and cycle of the God Squad program starting on Monday. Free keep fit and Pilates, free cycle tour, followed by lunch if you fancy for $9.50. Too late to book that, I'm afraid, but that's the sort of thing that happens in and around Pampalhoja and actually all over Portugal, where you can go to an event and get a t-shirt and a dinner and a few drinks for probably a very good value sum of something like €9.50 there. Excellent stuff. Let's just see what else is being said. Can we tempt you yet? Is it time to have a chocolate croissant? No, don't think so. Still not liking the look of that. There you go, Mrs. M. You faded your fader up now. That's going to work, isn't it? This is your captain speaking, Mrs. M. You can hear her now. Fantastic. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. Safe flight to you, Frank, from Joao. Nice, there you go. It suffers in high strength crosswinds. Who doesn't like a crosswind first thing in the morning? Bit of a Dutch oven situation sometimes. Yikes. Try to shop locally with sole traders and independent retailers, enriching your communities rather than dead entity corporations. Thank you, George, for that mention. That's really good. Call there. Villaverde is tricky. You must always mention the municipality, as there are several Villaverdes in Portugal. Thank you for that. I think sent people to the wrong places in Portugal by not being too clear on the municipality. So another good call there. Nubianet still in Marseille. It's very cool. In what sense? Temperature and typical French cool, I wonder, in Marseille. Southern French are pretty cool, aren't they? I think the Northern French would like to think they're the coolest. But
I think the Northern French are cooler, and the Southern are a little bit more hot-headed.
Okay, interesting.
In my experience, but
all right.
That was like from 20 years ago.
All right, Carl, check Piccadilly in 1941 and today on your WhatsApp. Cheers, Joel. I will have a look at that. That's a lovely little link there of my hometown back in the 40s. Before I was born, I hasten to add. And Gaiteiros are pipers, so you can hear pipers at that particular event there. So what have we got planned, Mrs. M? Is it a nice quiet one for us this weekend?
Oh, I hope so.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, so a nice quiet weekend for us coming up. We wish you the same. A bon fin semana. Is there anything you want to say, Mrs. M? You're doing your astrology show on Sunday afternoon as usual?
Yep, absolutely. It's let me take a look at your chart, where I look at the charts of 3 to 4 people, and
I was going to say, so what do you do on let me take a look at your chart?
I had an idea this morning.
Go on.
And it's been buzzing around my head, and it is learn astrology in a minute a day.
I see.
Or 5 minutes a day, and so I'm thinking of launching a series.
Quick and dirty guide to learning astrology. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll finish this morning then with that question over at
I want to know about the F. How do you do your quizzes? Do you reveal the answer at the end of the day?
It's like a first date. I don't give everything up straight away.
That's not how I recall our first date.
Naughty. Okay.
I think you got to second base.
That's how I like to see myself, if that's not actually how it happens in reality.
Yeah, there's a festival for you little virgin.
All right. Come on. The Learn About Portugal quiz today, as you can see on your screen, with an aeroplane taking off. This is your captain speaking and asking you how many airports there are in Portugal, including the autonomous regions. I'm going to tell everybody on Monday on the show the answer to this.
Cliffhanger.
If you go to Learn About Portugal, you can find out later on today. It's only fair and right.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Bargaining.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it Love 3 airports? Is it the Porto, Faro, and Lisboa? Or is it 5 airports, if we're including the autonomous regions? Is it 44 airports? Or is it that classic Portuguese answer? It depends. So do pop over to Learn About Portugal and make your guess over there. And get well soon, Emma, if you're still tuned in. And and maybe launching as a rap act called The Flu later on this month. But when says Joao, are you both going to visit Madeira? We would love to, absolutely love to. We will do one day.
Yeah, well, when?
All right, so
Let's think about that.
all right, bon vis. Maybe we need to do one of our Discovery weekends. It's going to have to be Discovery Week, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
I think Discovery
That's a
Week in
great
Azores
idea.
and Discovery Weekend.
Can we do that leading up to Christmas?
If you're listening, Visit Portugal. We'd love your help and endorsement of that. Just like Frank sounds like he's getting tap endorsements and discounts.
Yeah, because he wouldn't let, like, you couldn't. It was almost like, you know how you can slag off your own family.
You can't
your
talk
wife,
about tap badly to Frank.
Like your wife or whatever can't say anything about your family without you getting. It's like that. It's like he's married to tap.
It is.
And bless him.
I
mean, that's such a
imagine
nice
he
loyalty.
did introduce himself as a top influencer. You may have heard of me from the Good Morning Portugal show, and I would like to endorse your airline because I think it's great, especially this tap lounge. Could I have another gin and tonic, please, barman? Yeah, but that's a great note to end on. Bom fim de semana to you, Owen, as well. Beijinhos para vocês. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Lots of love.
Take care and bye for now. I'm just getting that outro video ready, and I'm going to give you a nice warm hand on your exit.
Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.